Yeah, it's not. We're not like tier listing it. True.
I think
So
we could
like,
tier list it. What if we tier listed it?
oh,
Welcome back, Hegmo, Dex. Glad to have you guys. What's going on? How have you been, Hegmo? How's your week been?
it's been pretty good.
Yeah.
We've been having doing fun Halloween stuff,
Mhm.
doing spooky things, getting some work done,
Mhm.
trying to learn Ammonon slowly with a monk strat.
Hmm.
We're learning something every time we fail, but we haven't quite gotten there yet.
What have you been wiping to?
TP feed. Yeah. But like, we learned the other day, we finished a run and I was like, that's weird. My dark magic skill, the Corsair's dark magic skill isn't blue. He must be like 5 levels behind me. Maybe we capped it when he was master level 45 and now he's master level 50. I'll just cap it really quick. And then 30 skill ups later, I was like, oh, okay, maybe this was a bigger problem. Maybe this is part of it. So it's that kind of stuff that we're still working out the initial setup, trial and error of doing things like that.
Okay. I saw that you posted a new video this week. What's that about?
Oh yeah. We have the new Marukala weapon, prime weapon video out.
Mhm.
I did finally. I looked back. I was shocked. I was like, man, it's probably been 90 days or something since I made my last prime weapon video, and it's been like 4 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Feel it.
Yeah. So yeah, we finally made a video. Hopefully momentum stays on that and we're back on track. I think that was my 10th prime weapon video.
Oh my gosh.
So we're the only problem is I think we have access to all the weapons across the party now. But the downside is the ones that are left are the ones that I'm least confident talking about. So
sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
yeah. And so when we get into like the staff or something like that, and somebody wants to know how it affects summoner, I'm going to be like, I don't fucking know, dude.
Right.
Like, can I just talk about the physical damage that the weapon skill does? Or
yeah, I'm sure that the staff is going to pump out really big physical numbers. So what do you think about Varga? Can you give us a little taste of what you talked about in the video? Like what were your impressions?
I like the weapon. I think it's great. The weapon skill is actually maybe the best hand-to-hand weapon skill on average, especially in high buff situations. And I really like that it is a middle ground in terms of delay between God Hands and Verithragna. So it's faster than God Hands, but not so fast like Verithragna that you have to worry about overcapping martial arts.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
Well, then what do you do specifically? Because I know God Hands, it lines up perfectly with the mock earring and the body, right?
Yeah, I didn't do like the deep dive martial arts math yet, but even just like taking off the mock earring and like being able to put on sheer,
nothing, and it feels faster.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and the problem is with Verithragna, again, I don't want to get too much into martial arts delay, but monk is one of 2 jobs. I think dual wield. Well, any dual wield works this way. I was thinking ninja, but monk and dual wield have this problem. Hand to hand and dual wield have this problem where you can have too much delay reduction, and you end up not being able to you can't reduce your attack speed anymore, but the math continues to reduce the TPU gain per hit. So you get to a point where you might not notice it immediately, but you're just gaining TP slower and you're not attacking faster.
Right. So other jobs can do that too. If
really?
If you want to get saucy and throw out like a blitzer's roll, we can reduce the attack speed or reduce the attack delay. It's a terrible roll and you should never use it. But
yeah,
if you wanted to be dumb, it's theoretically possible. So
weird scenarios, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine a scenario it would be useful for. But if you've heard of one, I'd love to hear about it.
Like I don't know, you have a Corsair and no haste in the party or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be
just trying to do like NFX. I think the only time I've ever
Yeah.
used Blitzer's roll is on Odin.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Odin may be the exception there. Dex, how's your week been? What have you been up to?
Just been playing Final Fantasy, man.
That's great.
Nothing crazy, just Limbus and
Mhm.
trying to fit things in the week.
Yeah. Have you made any new stage 5 primes this week?
I made the bow, but I haven't used it.
Well, you should just use it right now. When you're in Limbus, just bust it out and have some fun with it. Why not?
Hell yeah.
But Kraken Club.
That's fine. You can still Kraken Club. Just shoot. Just weapons go with the bow. It's fine. I had an interesting week. We put out our first job guide in like 6 months today, or not today, yesterday. And that was cool. I'm hoping to kind of keep on that. And yeah, it's been pretty good. Nothing too
Nice.
crazy.
No negative response?
Oh, there's always negative responses. There's never not negative responses. I was told I'm a bad narrator, but that's about as worse.
Well, that's like
as
the
it
worst
got.
insult of all. I would punch that.
Yeah, I thought about it. There's like a brief moment where I thought about like throwing my computer across the room. But I
not like you had like multiple streams where you took multiple takes for each
Right.
thing.
Right.
care
No, like I almost completely crashed out for sure. As you know, I tend to overreact very, very hard, very, very harshly. So once I bottled
So-
those feelings up and
Yeah.
kind of reined them in, I decided, you know what, maybe I shouldn't take my life advice from a random stranger.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just kind
But
of an
also,
epiphany.
was it
I'm sure they're an
sarcasm?
expert. I always okay, two things. One, never say that out loud again, because then the people are going to start doing it to spite you. They're going to be like, let's see if we can trigger myth, because we're,
I'm gonna get
two,
Yeah.
two, I have like two, most of the time I just ignore it. I'm like, oh, whatever. Like I don't care. And then my like when I get real frustrated, that's when I just say like, okay, cool. I can't wait to see your video.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
I'd love to show you to show me how to properly narrate. I can't wait to see it.
The funny thing is someone else commented that for me. They were like, well, we can't, why don't you make a fucking video? But I was just like, yeah, you're right.
Well, that post is like faith in humanity restored, right?
No. But anyway, no, it's fine. We have a bunch of emails. This is what really restored my faith in humanity this week is when Dex nearly crashed out about not getting emails on the podcast last week. We got 6 emails.
I think, is that more emails than we've gotten in total so far?
not in total, but it's probably like a good quarter of the emails that we've gotten so far in like 1 week. It's quite a few. And I think we're going to have to impose some limits on these emails, guys. Mostly for one dear writer in particular who likes to write his quote unquote love letters. But I think we need to impose a character limit on these emails. What do you guys think?
I don't know.
That one email looks rough. The Dynamis one is completely reasonable. The other one is like, God damn.
I think we have like 2 or 3 emails that if we like copied and pasted them into Word, they'd be like 3 or 4 pages long. But
listen, I like the things this email covers. But
I haven't read them yet, so I'm excited to read them now.
You read it. You replied to it. Unless you just skimmed.
That's right. I forgot. I think I just skimmed the last paragraph and then I like said a trolley comment and then. But we have a relationship with this person, so it's a little bit different. I think we should dive into the first one, and this is like my favorite one, or one of my favorite ones of this week.
Are we going oldest to newest or newest to oldest?
I'm doing oldest to newest. So I have Sock Guy email up first.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read this one for us, Dux? Yeah, it is.
Sure.
It is.
All right. Well, Sock Man is back. He says, "This is Sock Guy. First of all, juicy fruits. Second of all, thank you. My question this week, as far as questions go, and I'll make this short, as I'm sure all your all time is extremely valuable, and I don't want to take any more of it than I already have. So, with that said, and I do apologize, I'm trying to summarize this as best I can. So, to make it comprehensible, so you all don't feel like I'm just pulling you along or something. My question is as follows. What's the deal with Hegmo?
It's a great
Wait,
question.
is that, hold on. So I've had multiple, like, since this email came in and I first saw it, I've like gone through a range of emotional responses to it.
Right.
My latest is the phrasing of this question and the email structure a dig at how I answer questions?
I never thought about that.
I did not think about that.
But I wonder if it is.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. It might be.
And then the other, my follow-up question when I first read it, it was like, wait, are we talking like emotionally? What's the deal? Which deal would you like to cover first?
Well, I don't think when you start your when you start going on a tangent, you don't you don't begin that tangent with like a random flavor of gum. You don't go like Big Red and
true.
then
True.
Yeah.
But the juicy fruit is a callback, like that's from last episode. That's the code word we said for the week.
Yeah, we actually need to establish a new code word this week. So if you have an idea, signal.
Pineapple.
There you go. Pineapple.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So next week for the next set of emails, make sure you work in a pineapple somewhere. Then actually, I will say, I think just getting it out of the way at the beginning of the email is fine if you just want to throw it in as a non sequitur or something like that. But if you were to mix it in a way, make it kind of like a little subtle, and we're like, I see.
This is how we know this guy Pineapple.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
We know a guy named Pineapple, so it's gonna be
true. Thank you, Sock Guy, for the email. Really appreciate it. You've caused a lot of debate. You've caused a lot of hurt feelings on this show. A lot of people have taken your sock question very, very personally, but we still enjoy hearing from you. So thanks for this one.
Yeah. And I definitely have at least 2 nights in the past week spent, just sleepless nights rocking back and forth, sitting up in bed saying, what is the deal with Hegmo? But yeah.
What's the deal? What's the deal with Hegmo? Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Sleepless nights just staring at the ceiling.
Yeah. I think it's like it makes me think of the how many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know what the deal is with Hegmo.
True.
We'll never know. So on to the next question. Or the next email, rather. We have an email from Destroyinator on Azura.
Yeah. From our home.
Hell yeah.
He says, hello, gentlemen. Love the pod, and I've been playing FF11 since the Xbox 360. I'm too old and I have limited time, so I've taken up multi-boxing, but seem to be stuck in a rut. I've got the Imperium +2, Artifact and Relic +3 and 4, and some Odyssey gear augmented, but I'm still working on tier 1 mobs for the most part to V15. I have Nyame and Sekpada around 15, but need to continue to push to get to higher vengeance levels. Obviously, it's a bit more difficult multi-boxing, but I feel like I should be having as much difficulty as I am on some content. I'm trying to complete the Gaius Feat process and cannot seem to beat Warden of Courage, and haven't attempted other Helms mobs quite yet. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I should be focusing on. Sortie to get +3, Prime Weapons Stage 2, Odyssey, a mix of everything. I know you've discussed Endgame, but I'm taking it more at a granular level would be great. Thanks again, and keep up the great work.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, the first thing that I would do in his position would be to work on that Imperium +3 stuff. What do you think?
I'm
It's
confused by the Prime
yeah.
Stage 2 question mark, but I do agree with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry
Well,
too
I would
much about the
yeah.
Prime Stage 2s unless you're trying to like progress TVR or something. Like if you haven't
Yeah.
finished TVR, then definitely like do the Stage 2s. And I wouldn't
Mhm.
worry about like making a prime until you're in a position to actually like make a stage 3 or higher.
Yeah, I would say that like that's the easiest part of the question to answer. Like if you're going through
Mhm.
sortie for the first time and you're wondering what to spend your Gallimafree on, the most efficient use of Gallimafree is the relevant pieces for your jobs going up to +3 Empyrean, I think. Like getting to even, and like stage 2 is largely, yes, you should get one stage 2 weapon just to finish Voracious Resurgence. That's very important. But I would, if you're talking about going to stage 3 and saving up 1,000,000 Gallimafree or +3ing your set of Empyrean armor, I would definitely go with the armor first because it's going to have a much bigger impact
That's a
earlier.
no-brainer.
Right. Yeah, I think in general building the gear around the weapons is more important than building the weapons before.
It's hard to,
Yeah.
blanket statement for every job in the game,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
the Empyrean +3 is like, in a lot of cases, on
Yeah.
par with even high-ranked, Odyssey gear.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's a huge jump forward. And then, I think by extension too, like some of the Limbus, I think when Limbus gear +4 artifact and relic first came out,
Mhm.
a lot of it is still largely useless or doesn't have a huge use in a set. But like there are some pieces that end up, being a permanent replacement for, if not a replacement for like weapon skill damage Naomi pieces until you get to R20, R30 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I think that upgrading armor is really, really valuable. It also really just depends on where you are. If you're talking about like, would getting a set of Sakpata armor at rank 0 be a big upgrade? Probably. But if you're talking about like going from Sakpata, um, you know, 10 to 15, that might not make as big of an impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It depends on where you are in your progression.
Mhm.
So he had said that his Nyame and Sakpata were 15. I think that's a great spot to
Okay.
be at.
That's a good spot.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
20 might be like the baseline for most people, but I think 15 is like perfectly good starting point for anything. You can kind of do almost everything with that.
Yeah. And I think the Empyrean +3 will definitely like round out all the slots that
Mhm.
the Nyame stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about like time invested too, going into Odyssey bosses, like, and you're looking at progressing all of your Odyssey bosses
Mhm.
from a 15 to a 20 or something like that, like that could be months of learning different comps and gearing different jobs and strategy and all this other stuff. So,
Right.
um,
Yeah. For very little reward too, because
yeah,
there's no guarantee that you're gonna get a lot of reward from the Odyssey stuff. The Empyrean +3 you can steadily work towards, no matter how little progress you're making in sortie, and that will help you. So
yeah,
I do think to answer his question more concisely, I
mhm.
do think a mix of everything is the correct approach. I just don't think his one like note of prime weapons, I do not think that that's a good use of your time. I
Mhm.
think that's something to do once you have everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
And he
a
was
good sum.
talking about having trouble with Warden of Courage and Helms. I think I don't know per se if the Imperium +3 will like make a difference there, but I do think that's a good start.
I think it would. I think that's a significant gear creep compared to like the stuff that people. Whereas if you're
yeah,
like or if you're like doing a 6-man helm and you're newer to the content and maybe don't have a lot of the remas, especially like the Aeonics, like Arceus or something, I think the +3 can help make up that difference.
It'll definitely help you survive more
Mhm.
if you're just wearing like that stuff in general. And that fight most of those fights tend to be kind of a Zerg
Mhm.
with like slight strategy.
Yeah.
So I think I think we've kind of covered all the bases.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Thank you, Destroyinator, for the email. And
Yeah,
keep
for
on
sure.
destroyinating.
Yeah, I haven't seen him
I will
around.
say the only other thing too is that something like Warrior Courage, it's also could just be composition struggles or like, how you're approaching it. That is kind of a weird fight. You know what I mean? I remember doing it at one point and kind of running into intermittent problems. This was like probably a year or 18 months ago or something like that. And I hadn't done it in a while. And I was like, man, why do we keep like stalling out or like dying or whatever? And somebody was like, why don't you have your red mage silence it? I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like little things like that, like, just like making sure you have the proper range of buffs or you're putting up silence for certain mechanics or whatever, like that can go a long way.
Yeah, definitely. And eventually you'll just get to the point where you don't even have to do mechanics and you can just hit weapon skill buttons. So yeah, I think doing the mechanics is actually more personal, but
I agree with that. I've never been a fan of the whole summoner burst shit and like spamming Savage Blade on everything's kind of boring.
Yeah, that's why we like Limbus so much. Is because the mechanics are so unique and exciting. Yeah, cool.
I feel like Helms kind of come full circle where like the earliest cheese strategy for a few of them, like the big bird, I forget the name of it. Where it has all the little babies.
Oh, are you talking about
in
Saitama?
Rice no, that's in Rice, not Rice and Jima. That one's in
I'm talking about recent
Ruan.
the big
Oh, you're talking about Aranis, the dragon.
Aranis, correct.
Yeah.
That's a bird, sir.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is a bird. He's an amphitheater.
But
dragon
the
bird
strategies for that, like people would they would do like multiple thieves and just sneak attack for weapon skill and then kind of like just TP suppress.
Right.
I feel like we do a variant of that now, but like
and Helms are like, if you're running to mechanical issues with something like walk, like that's going to be twofold or threefold or more when you get to Helms, because they're all so unique, in terms of the mechanical approach to them. Until you get to a point. I think my most recent Zerdy clears, I literally popped temps and I just didn't even stun it. I was like, let's just kill it before the doom goes off.
Absolutely. We ready to move on to the next email?
Yeah.
Our first person that needs to be censured for the day because of the exceeding the text limit, character limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Long one.
Right. But we'll let Dex get into this.
No, you're reading this one.
All right. I'll read the first like 3 lines. This is from our very close friend Mr. Vire. He was actually on the podcast. And to be honest with you, I think he's kind of taking advantage of that fact by throwing us these gigantic emails. But we're glad to get them. We're gonna go dive right into this. It says, "Howdy, blurred gentlemen, long time and erstwhile fan Vire here. Are you sick of me yet? Too bad. Thanks. Anyway, Dex has been asking for emails and I aim to please. Recently in episode 18 of the Blurred podcast, Dex mentioned that he had played and raided in Destiny. This is a whole Dex question. All right. That's pretty cool because I also played Destiny quite voraciously when it first came out, alongside a couple of XI veteran friends of mine. Perhaps it was their company that made it feel so, but to me it felt quite obtuse, and despite being a first-person shooter, really gave me Final Fantasy XI vibes. There was lore that wasn't quite all there. There was supernatural enemies galore throughout a scientific fantasy, the old light versus darkness, Peter Dinklage. Elemental guns and elemental weaknesses, war, core,
basically
red
beastmen
mage.
tribes.
Yeah. Warcorn, Red Mage, I mean Titan, Hunter, and Warlock. Loads of bosses with different difficulty settings. With cheese, sorry, I lost my place here. Cheese strats versus Chad strats, for lack of a better term, and 2-hour or supers. Wow. Dex,
Yeah, Destiny kind of scratched a lot of itches for me as of all the things that he mentioned. I know
right.
he's like also drawing a lot of comparisons with a stretch, but
Right. Would you say that it was as similar as he's making it out to be? I know nothing about Destiny. So,
I think Destiny, in my opinion, is one of the most entertaining and fun shooters because of all these like non-shooter aspects to it.
Yeah.
okay.
I played a lot of Destiny and Destiny 2, and I think that it kind of, I'm sure there's a lot of games in this same genre, but it was a first person shooter
Mhm.
RPG kind of. Where like you build your character, you set talents, you set like your spec and all this other stuff. So it had a lot of RPG elements to it,
It's
which
got
were
even
unique.
more complex and more specky over the years. Like it's a lot more build crafty now.
Okay.
The director who has since stepped down, but maybe 2 years ago,
Mhm.
he said he wanted to make Destiny an MMO, and
Right.
he
Mm.
agreed to that.
Okay.
Um,
Did they recently announce that Destiny is like end of life? They're or is that, did I misread that?
Destiny finished its final expansion of the main story, and now is
Mm.
doing like side story stuff similar to 14. It's not ending,
Yeah,
uh, but it's doing new stuff that is
I see.
less
Okay.
focused and story driven.
Mm.
Um, Obviously, each thing that they release will have story to it, but it won't be a overarching narrative. And then they also have I don't know the company, it might be like NetEase or something. They have one of those Korean companies making a separate game called Destiny Rising, which is both a prequel but also an alt universe. So it's like they can do whatever the hell they want. And I've been hearing a lot of good
Mm.
things
Hmm.
as a mobile
Interesting.
game that's like, it's got gotcha elements to it, but it plays just like Destiny.
Okay.
I could do a whole thing about the game. Like, I played the game for I want to say 5 years.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I got into a rut with the game. I got sick with how they had lack of updates for a lot of certain things, and they kept removing things that you grinded for. Um,
Mm.
you grind for it again, and it got really tiresome.
Sounds
But
annoying.
at a core level, the gameplay and the raids in particular are some of the best content I've played in any video game, and I
Okay.
do miss that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Vira goes on to say a whole lot of things. And I'm gonna skip a
what
couple of these things.
what
I
Um,
percentage are we
can
through the
talk
email
about
at
that
this point?
another time.
we were about 15% through the email.
Oh, good God.
So I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the last couple lines.
So to give you a brief, he covers like the first raid, which is very
Mhm,
nostalgic for people.
Mm.
Vault of Glass. He goes into all that. He talks about mechanics in it. He talks about like the fabled weapon, the Galahorn, and
mhm,
it's actually a rocket launcher, not a horn. Um, and he continues with another section of the raid that was very entertaining and probably caused a lot of drama with people that he played with.
mm.
Uh,
I
oh
was
my god, he
gonna
can.
finish it off with the line that says, "I recount all that to say, Destiny 1 gave me big Final Fantasy 11 feelings. It wasn't the best game of all time or anything, but it was highly enjoyable, rather grindy, and not just this raid boss, but many other raid boss and Nightfall bosses have similar vibes to ones found in 11. The games couldn't be more different in terms of execution and gameplay, but I found myself drawn to Destiny even when my friends couldn't play, and for a time made sorry, I lost my spot again. I made a ton of friends playing, though now none remain. Though some of them were even from the 11 Auction House website. So I was
That's
wondering,
why.
what was Dex's experience with Destiny? Was it one, two, or both? Did you enjoy them? Were you upset about the way the story was halfway housed and sort of canned panned into the online codex? Did you pay attention to that aspect of Destiny at all?
I was a big lore person in the game. There was a bunch of community lore people.
Mhm.
Like My Name is Life is very famous for that. But it was very interesting to follow the story, as jumbled as it was, and I think they took a lot of different direction turns when Destiny 2 launched. They changed it from being like ambiguously against these alien races to like something that was manipulating things behind the scenes, like pulling the
Mm.
strings. Um,
The
I don't
Shadow
know if
Lord.
I don't know if I prefer that or not, but
Right.
I did enjoy it a lot. I played both games. I played Destiny 1 from launch until Destiny 2 uh Beyond Light, I think I want to say
Okay.
was the expansion I quit in. Um but during my time, like, to give you an idea of a quick idea of me like being interested in all the lore, like I hunted all the Grimoire score. I was huge into keeping my Grimoire score maxed out, which is like you do a bunch of extra activities or find hidden things throughout the world in order to unlock little lore tidbits that you can read.
Cool.
Nice.
So next question, he says, and for the rest of the Blurred Gentlemen, what are some other games, even non-MMOs, that give you 11 vibes or have gripped you in the same way as
Oh.
11? Are there any? I know Hegmo's experimental. He'll play just about anything if he's given a reason to, or if he sees anything that registers as cool in the Hegmodar. But what
Yeah.
of Myth? And what other games do you guys find challenging? What worlds have you walked in, gentlemen? Have any of you found that secret fire?
Egmo kind of got yada yada there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He plays anything. I don't care. What about Myth?
Well, I'll read my response to the email that I wrote back, and I said, I've actually never played any other games in my life, and then I just that was my response to the entire email. But Hegma, what do you got? What games do you like to play?
Man, I mean, I play all sorts of games. You know, I could go on a tangent about that, but you can follow me over at twitch.tv/Hegmo, and you can check out the games that we play in addition to Final Fantasy 11. As far as like a game that has given me Final Fantasy 11 vibes, that's an interesting question. I think that one thing that I think the reason that a lot of us still play Final Fantasy 11 is because very few games give Final Fantasy 11 vibes. Um, it's kind of hard to replace that the key experience of playing Final Fantasy 11. So I don't know. I'd have to think harder on that and see if anything comes to mind. I'm sure there are a few things that I play that I'm like, man, this kind of reminds me of, you know, getting skill ups or whatever, kind of that thing. But
To bring it back to what he was talking about, I would say what made me come back to 11 over Destiny, because I play like some single player games a little bit, but very little, and I'm usually like a one game Andy. I'll play one game to death, and I'm obsessed. So like I'm playing Final Fantasy 11 now. I'm not really playing much else. And
yeah,
Yeah.
what got me back in Final Fantasy was that Destiny, in a lot of ways, wasn't scratching the itch that Final Fantasy had. In that all your progress is like set in stone. Like you've built this character up, and everything that you've grinded in the past kind of is relevant.
Mhm.
Some things might get power crept, but it's not really like common. Whereas Destiny, there were periods of time where, you know, that was true, and then there were other periods of time where they're like, we're releasing this new content and you can't take anything with you. We want to leave that stuff behind. And it felt really, really bad.
Right. Yeah.
and that's something that's maybe like entirely in opposition to the approach that Final Fantasy 11 takes, where like
Exactly.
everything stays relevant. Yeah.
Well, there was
That's
a
kind
period
of
of
what
time when they were trying to leave the level 99 and level 75 stuff behind, and they got a lot of backlash, right?
Yeah.
When relics were irrelevant for a year, however long it was, and
it was
people,
much more than
yeah. But I've heard stories of people revolting in that time period, and I don't blame them for
as a
if you.
player who lived through that era,
Mhm.
having not had a relic weapon to be salty about probably really skewed my perspective on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
But I mean, imagine spending a year, 2 years, grinding for a relic back then, and then
Can you imagine? Yeah, back then, like you make an entire link shell and you coerce them into funneling all the Dynamis currency directly to you, the paladin,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
I don't know why they were all paladins, but
There's always a
and
paladin.
and then yeah, something comes out and like how are you gonna coerce another full alliance of people into farming for you again? I don't know.
Given the
Right.
benefit of hindsight, I can't imagine like how many people actually would quit over that kind of thing, because I could have seen myself doing that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But no, I think I had a couple Empyreans around then. I wasn't playing during this time period. But I never finished a relic by that time. I helped a friend build one, and then that burned us out so bad that we quit.
Yeah. I never had an ultimate weapon until after Rhapsodies came out. I never had a Rima of any sort.
Oh wow. You're kind of like a baby then, huh, Hegmo?
Yeah.
Like baby
Yeah.
Hegmo.
Little baby Hegmo.
I think
I was still in my egg state back then.
Still in your Egmo state? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only game that I've really gotten into as much as 11 would probably be Terra. When it first came out, Terra was like, it was interesting because it was an MMO. The combat was particularly challenging, or at least you could make the combat challenging depending on like how you played and what class that you. And it was mostly like there was some gear aspect to it, but it was mostly like gameplay was the challenging part. But then they like started adding updates and stuff, and it slowly turned into more of like a 14 feeling combat stuff. So they like made a lot of the functions a lot easier. And yeah, I think after the like first big expansion, I started to kind of lose interest. I tried coming back at one point, and now it's shut down forever. So
Oh, that's sad. Well,
yeah,
there's like
Yeah, happening
right?
a lot. Apparently, what the most recent one isn't New World, like, potentially not getting any future updates, all the
I think
Amazon
New
stuff
World's
that
getting
happened this
shut
last
down.
week. Yeah.
yeah.
That was actually, I really liked New World when it first came out, and that actually kind of gave me some Final Fantasy 11 like vibes, just in terms of like the grinding of skill ups and things like that, and weapons specific gameplay and all this other stuff had some really interesting factors. I like New World. I didn't keep playing it for very long, but
New World is the
that
one
was a fun game.
from Amazon. Is that right?
Yeah, Amazon.
Okay.
And Amazon just shut down its entire games wing. They just closed the entire studio, laid off like 30,000 people.
Yeah. I've been hearing lots of people around the Northwest getting laid off. And
There was a period of time before Abizia came out where I took a break from 11, and also a period of time like during Void Watch when I took a break from 11, and there were multiple MMOs I delved into. I played this like flight simulator MMO, which had tons of like battles. I think it was, well, there was multiple names for it because you had to bootleg it off of Korea, and then they released it in Europe, and they released it in America, and servers got shut down, and the IP got transferred. But it was like Ace Online. I think it was Space Cowboy at first. It was Ace Online, and the Korean one was like Fidoy. No, I think it was Vietnamese. It was like Fidoy or something. It's really bizarre. I played the shit out of that game, and I would still play that game today.
yeah.
I also played
Hmm.
I think it's called Decaron now, but at the time it was called Two Moons.
Oh,
That game was very fun.
Hegmo.
It's like a battle.
Um,
I think it was kind of like what the hell's the name of it? I can't remember the name of the MMO, but it was like very battle focused, like very PvP focused, but also roam around kind of Diablo style.
Hegmo, have you did you ever play RuneScape? You seem like a person that would be interested in RuneScape.
What that mean?
I never played RuneScape.
Okay.
I think I played RuneScape one, like I played original RuneScape. when it first came out
Mhm.
at a friend's house or something like that. I like logged in and made a character or whatever and played it, and then I never went back to it.
Right.
But I mean, I played, I played Final Fantasy 11. I played World of Warcraft. I think my first like introduction to MMOs in that era too was Ragnarok Online, uh, which was a like Korean MMO type thing, which was all class based. I still have fond memories of that. But I've gone through. I've played 14. I've played a lot of different MMOs, but never gotten to RuneScape. Some people have tried to coerce me into playing old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have that. I mean, I have to play Final Fantasy 11 for 40 to 80 hours a week. I don't have time for nothing. I'm saying like that.
Yeah. All right. You guys ready to move on to the next email?
Before we move on, now that you've unlocked this aspect of it, the reason I got back into 11 was because my real life friend, Thanks Derm on Twitch, who is a old school RuneScape streamer, was playing 11 again, and that's where I've met Takeover before I played 11.
Oh wow,
nice.
And other than him, I have a few other IRL friends who are like prolific old school RuneScape streamers.
Okay.
One of which is like known for being the first to solo like hard raid content. He's a madman. But the fact that he like took a break from RuneScape to play 11 for a little bit, like watching him while I was at work got me the itch to play again.
Yeah. Now you're
But
stuck.
in knowing that, like, I've never played old school RuneScape, but I know a fuck ton about RuneScape just through osmosis.
Yeah. See, I always see Hegmo playing like these brand name like kinds of games that look kind of older. And I know like you recently went back and you, not saying that Final Fantasy 7 is an off-brand game, but you went back and you played games like Final Fantasy 7. So like RuneScape might have seemed like it would be something up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely try it. Like I've been tempted before, but we'll see. We'll see if I ever, it's like that's like somebody offering you drugs, and I've been so far responsible of being like, no, I don't want to ruin my life. You know what I mean? Like I think I'm not gonna do that.
Right,
but one day I'll try.
You're already on the meth of Final Fantasy 11. You want to also add the heroin of
exactly
into the mix. Yeah.
That's so funny you say that. Other than the one friend that I just said who was playing at the time, I think 4 or 5 of my other real life friends were back on 11 again, and I came back to the game, and within 6 months they'd all quit. But I think recently, I think because either we were doing this podcast or I was doing like raid or master trial stuff on a weekend, I said I was too busy to hang out, and my one friend was like, "I'm so upset that I got you on heroin."
Yeah, true though. I'm gonna go ahead and read the next email. This one is one that's really close to my heart. Don't thank Vire yet. We've got another one from him coming up soon.
Oh great!
Oh god!
Yeah. Brace yourselves. I feel bad for the people that listen to this episode this week and they just have to like listen to us read 6 emails because Dex wanted more emails.
It's great. I love it.
This is what you get. So longtime listener, first time emailer. This is from Dog Food, by the way. I hear a lot about how awesome everyone is, but I do wonder, why does Dex wear ambuscade gear? It can't be that good anymore, can it? Well, you see, Dog Food.
On to the next email.
The thing is here. Here's the thing. Dex has all this gear, but what he does is he puts all his time into these like weird spreadsheets, and his spreadsheets just tell him to wear ambuscade gear. So what happens is when I'm healing him and he's taking a ton of damage, I'm like, dude, why are you just wearing ambuscade gear?
Gaslit
and he's like, he what he says is he's like, I'm not wearing ambuscade gear. Check me. But what happens is he's hitting a macro as soon as he says check me that switches into DT gear. And that's how he keeps up his facade. So there's no way you get hit by 3K by Bahamut or Chaos or whatever it is without wearing ambuscade gear. Is all I'm saying. But thank you for the email. Thank you for the email. one of these days we'll get him out of this bad habit. But it
I
will
will
be in the
say,
future.
it doesn't help that my town gear is typically on Corsair or Ranger,
Mhm.
all the Meganata gear, which has regen on it.
See, you
And
just proved
And
our
some
point.
people
I
like
go
just
AFK in
yeah.
town and people check in, they're like,
Oh
"Oh, he
my
really does
god.
wear ambuscade gear." I'm like, "What the?"
I love this. I love this for me. Thank you, Dog Food. That was really appreciated. Dog Food is a very good friend of mine. We have another much more digestible email from Vire. Dex, this one's all yours.
Okay.
Dynamis Divergence.
Mm.
I was wondering, I know you blurred boys lead busy lives. Myth does myth things.
Mhm.
Dex works graveyard. Hegmo has gone full streaming, and Shiraj British. He's not secretly Welsh or something, right?
British question mark.
So you guys mostly do sortie and master trials, I guess. No, I think that's just me and Shiraj.
Mhm.
But wondering if any of you did Dynamis Divergence with any regularity. I know Hegmo has mentioned leading before for his Link Shell and just tanking on Warrior. That sounds super fun. Whenever I go Warrior, even when I sub Dragoon, I wind up tanking Wave 3 boss. I just die if my party's healer is not on point. I'm in a pretty good Link Shell for it on Bahamut. We don't always get it done all the way to completion because we're a bunch of late 30s, early 40s old fogies.
That happens at that age sometimes.
That's very true.
Sometimes our Link Shell leads sorry, I misread that. Sometimes our Link Shell lead chokes on Cheetos
Mhm.
and has to be hospitalized.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
Even he got better. Okay.
Okay.
Is that like a real anecdote?
Yeah, we'll have to.
It has to be.
We'll have to ask him for the lore on this one and the
Yeah.
next.
How do you choke on Cheetos?
I'm sure it's doable.
But I was just curious if any of you are heroisms, detritus farming kingpins. What your feelings? What are your feelings towards Dyna D? How much you have done in the past? Are you occasionally still getting your bodies clapped by Wave 3 Hydra Core NMs? I know I do. The fist fighter shouldn't be that strong, damn it. Even if it's the bygone content for you, do you have any neat stories, dramatic high parses, dramatically low parses? Do the Speedy Boys, Dex and Traj, have any extra speedy runs with like blue cleaves or anything? Our Link Shell has this super awesome 6-box fellow that comes along. He used to come a lot, but life got busy. And the fastest run I recall involved him, with us finishing with 45 minutes left on the instance after Wave 3 boss died.
Wow.
Any neat tips or tricks for those Wave 3 booty clappers or any of the Wave 2 bosses? How does Hegmo do his tanking on Warrior when he's hard charging for his Link Shell? Any revelations for what Dyna D currencies are like on smaller servers? Thanks,
Nice.
Fire.
Hegmo, I think you do the most dynamics out of any of
Yeah.
these.
Well, the Hegmo Link Shell on Shiva, we sometimes do 6 to 8 Dynamis runs, full Alliance Dynamis runs in a week. We'll usually do a run on Saturdays, sometimes 2 concurrent runs, or sorry, on Sundays, and then on Wednesdays there's often 2 to 4 runs that happen.
4
just depending on how many people. Yeah,
what?
like it's 4 different. Yeah,
that's too much. No, you need to stop that. I don't like that.
Yeah, well, because we do an afternoon run and an evening run, and sometimes those get doubled up. But so there's a lot of dynamics that happens. It's something that I still enjoy. I actually really like doing dynamics because it's like it feels like I'm being productive and I'm helping people out, getting clears and farming currencies and stuff like that. But it's not mind-numbingly dumb yet, and it's not difficult enough to really feel like any kind of pressure. So it kind of is a nice like difficulty level for chilling out.
Yeah, that's too bad.
But I mean, I think there's a lot of different questions in there. I mean, how do I survive on? I usually end up tanking on warrior because that's just, unless we have somebody who volunteers to play their really high enmity cap, perfectly geared out paladin or something like that. It just happens inevitably. And I feel like with if you have your party built out right, with a phalanx too from a red mage, and then the biggest thing that we do is in wave 3 we switch to we have a barrier bubble up, an entrusted barrier, and then we put a wilt out from the geo instead of frailty, because you're usually pretty well above attack cap anyway, if you're buffed out or close to it, and then having the wilt and just decreasing the enemy's attack significantly, you can survive most things. There are still a few scary NMs, like the fist fighter was mentioned before. He'll just tear you up. For some reason, like the dagger jobs are sometimes scary. I think just because they attack fast. Yeah, and then the warrior can be kind of scary as well. But it's about balancing your buff cocktail to have enough defense to survive, while also putting out enough damage that you're not like hoping that it dies before it kills you, and you're just putting out enough to kill it.
Yeah. I used to do Dino a lot, and I've mostly stopped because the currency sales on Azura have pretty much plummeted since the Azura shutdown. So the motivation was making Gil for me. And I used to merc a lot. I used to merc Dino a lot. And that's not really something that I particularly care to do anymore. You can say I've grown past to that stage of my life where now I'm just trying to be a good model citizen.
There was a short period of time before you acquired your full multi-box that we duoed it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But yeah, we did duo
before
it.
your static was
Before,
established.
yeah. We did duo it a couple times, and it was good money for a while. But
I do think the Trituses haven't really plummeted. I think everything else has.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to go farm wave 3 mostly. But I did however get really drunk last week into a wave 3 clear with the link shell. Takeover was actually putting together a wave 3 clear, and I was like, you know what? Fucking I'll do that too. And I think overall I didn't make the run easier for him. I think in fact I probably made it more difficult for him. But I had fun. So it's really the main thing that matters, you know what I mean?
But I had fun. I had fun. I drank too much, and everybody else had a terrible time. But
that sounds like any night with me.
Yeah, it sounds like most nights. Yeah.
I think a Dyna D link shell is something that's been missing from my life for quite a while. I started endgame doing that, and I've since fallen off on it. I think for a long time now, I felt like Dyna D is just too much of a time commitment. Like Sorty's an hour, and that's like okay. But then if you tell me I have to be trying hard for 2 hours, even though you don't really need to, people go AFK and Dyna all the time, but like I don't feel that way. I would still want to be active for 2 hours straight, and then it gets exhausting.
Right.
Those runs are long. I feel like 2.5, 3 hours sometimes that you're in Dynamis. If you're doing like a full clear, it's a long run.
I watch all you fuckers do Dynamis every week, and I don't understand how you do it every.
It gets old.
It's I mean,
Takeover, Hegmo, you're all doing it all the time.
I don't know. For me, I don't know what it is about Dynamis. I got super burned out on Omen after like leading events, trying to clear all the objectives, all this other stuff for like a year straight. I got burnt out on that, and I refuse to do Omens nowadays. Limbus, I cannot stand doing, and I force myself to do every week. But for some reason, Dynamis Divergence, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, it's Dynamis time. Let's go. Yeah. I'm just excited to do it.
It just dodged the hatred somehow.
Yeah.
I used to really enjoy it. I just the motivation for me is gone since the money is no longer there.
Did we ever talk about way back when we first met each other and the memes that occurred in Dynamis?
I mean, are you talking about me running into halos or like what? Which
I'm
memes?
talking like warping out.
Oh yeah, so yeah, when Dex and I first met each other, it was part of an event link shell that eventually turned into me running an event link shell. And for a long time, we were running Dynamis twice a week, Omen twice a week, blah 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 blah. There were several like embarrassing mishaps. Then there was one time where I was lagging so badly during the Wave 3 boss that I was like trying to use a panacea and I black hourglassed myself out.
No. Odin was summoned, and your replays got wiped, and you went to public Razor.
Yeah.
I've seen that far too many times. It's happened far too many times.
And it was great though because I was also the tank of the Wave 3 boss.
Yeah, and like watching it instantly just start one-shotting everybody. Yeah.
So yeah, you know, it happens. Another time I was manually controlling the tank and the bard, and my bard ran into a halo. And that was a mess. And I'm sure there's other embarrassing stories too that I'm missing.
I love seeing stuff like you always, you know, the same stories have happened. You know, people, I still am not sure if this actually impacts anything with the clear, but we've had multiple times where people have called for help on the Wave 3 boss by mistake. Supposedly, they call for help as they're just going through their menus, and we're like, do we get prog? Like, does it count as a clear? Do we need to reset it? You know, like that kind of stuff. There's always like somebody's bard or core that just runs off in a direction and pops 12 statues.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you answer that question for everybody? Does a call for help Wave 3 boss count?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's already got credit, so he wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
Regarding Vire's email, there was like questions about parses and stories. I think like one of the best parses I ever had was on Ranger, strangely enough. I remember when I first, because I was coming up in a Dynamis Link shell, and I had made my Corsair to be like useful, and that was like my second real job, but my actual only real job because no one takes Blue Mage for stuff. And I remember getting death penalty and finally being like a god in Dynamis, and it felt really nice. One shot all the statues and all that. Before that, I was just bringing Blue Mage, and you know, it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. I wasn't doing the modern thing of cleaving everything and entombing everything constantly.
Somebody told me, just as a random Blue Mage anecdote, somebody said yesterday in chat that they just did their first Ammonon hard mode with Blue Mage.
Yes,
that's blue. Like, yeah, I think blue in place of the Paladin.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Oh yeah.
That's something I'd want to try. I just I've been a slave to the meta for a long time, but I've been yelling from the rooftops in the forums that Blue Mage can tank.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It's the principle as the Blue Mage Bumba tanking.
I do have a funny story about a Parson Dynamis, because my good friend who still sometimes plays but doesn't play very often is another British guy named Ernie Pie. He always likes to rag on me as much as he can. And there was one time where I don't think we had a tank in Dynamis, and I died like 3 times on Warrior, and he was parsing it, and he was on Ninja, and he outparsed me on Warrior because I was dead the whole time, and he like brought that up several times after I forgot that the reason he won the parse.
Good.
No, he was like my Ninja is better than your trash Warrior, and like he'll bring up that meme all the time, and it's true. Warrior is a bad job. Don't just play Ninja if you want to be good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, depending on which Dynamis you're in, if it doesn't have like the magical resistances that you have to worry about with hybrids, you can just spam cap damage blade chi or whatever the entire run. It's wild.
It's true. Ninja can do some busted stuff.
Yeah. I think that like as far as damage output, I can't remember the exact time, but most of the time, like Dynamis Divergence, a party can do nowadays. You know, like if you have one really well geared party, that's all you need to clear Wave 3. like, you know, gear scaling is just out of control compared to when it came out. And usually like we split up, like I was saying, like we'll have two runs. I think at one point we had 3 18-man alliances go into Divergence at the same time. And you know, we'll spread people out to make sure that as many groups get through. But there was one time that like we had a super group that was just the carry parties, 3 carry parties in one alliance. And it was dumb. I think we full cleared everything and we killed the wave 3 boss with over an hour left. And it was just what just happened? Did we just do all of Dynamis in 47 minutes or something like that? Yeah.
Do you just gather the entire Shiva server? Is that how
I imagine it's probably a good chunk of the people that are online when like we've had big groups, but we have a group picture at one point we took where we had 3 alliances go in and we're just like, yeah.
Wow. Dang.
Having not done a lot of Dyna D in the latest years, I've gone in and helped people, and it kind of blew my mind with gear creep that, you know, Blue Mage can just one-shot statues with a nuke.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. But it's also really cool. Like I'm glad Blue Mage can do that. That's not something that should surprise us though, you know? Blue Mage should be able to do cool stuff like that.
Now that it's soloable, or it's going to be soloable,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go in and fuck around.
Oh hell yeah.
I posed the question the other day. I was like, is it possible to solo Dyna D on any job? I don't think the
Blue
answer is
Mage.
yes, but it's close.
Yeah. If it's gonna be a one job, it's gonna be Blue Mage.
I know Shiraj still at Halfist, the Wave 2 Sandy boss on the Scholar.
I think
I bet
kind of hard
I
to
could see
do the trash stuff on Scholar though.
Yeah. Can Scholar like one shot any statues? Well, also like yeah.
Sure.
I think the question will be if you're talking about like what is a solo clear? Is that like killing the wave 3 boss? You don't have to pop really any statues if you sneak well enough, you know. Yeah. You have to kill the 2 mid bosses and halos. You know, the halos would be the hard part. Yeah.
Have to give yourself as much time as possible for the final boss.
Yeah, if you're just waiting for Helix ticks to go off.
Yeah.
You know, like that's good. Yeah.
I'm sure a duo is possible. It's just what job combo.
I think Ninja would be a really good job to bring in as one of them, and then like
the burden of proof is on you to do that.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me do that real quick. Moving on to the next email.
Thank you, Larry.
This is our last email from this week. We made it through, boys. Only one more.
You want me to do this one, or you want to get back on
It's all you, man. It's all you.
All right, good, because the way you read, you know, something about being good at it.
The narration's just not.
Yeah, it's fair.
From Derp, or Pog, as he puts at the bottom. Emailing from a friend's throwaway Gmail from a jailbroken device on hotspot from a contraband cell phone.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Hell of a
is
way
this
to
like is this just like for anonymity? Like why so many layers?
Don't worry about it.
We're gonna find out
your business.
We're about to find out. This is about to be like terrible. Hell of a way to subject an email, but it is the truth. I played 11 in the past through several accounts in various eras. My early gaming experience barely saw me through a level 36 Tara Black Mage named Poge the
Pogeth Heget.
Pogeth?
That's how I see it. Pogeth Heget. Very long name.
Thanks, random generator. My second account that got me to my first 75 job, Dark Knight, Mithra named Dahia. I even came back post Abyssias and was shocked that the leveling process, shocked at the leveling process, and got my first 99 on a fresh account, Mithra Blue Mage time. I say all this to mention I love listening to your podcast. Just the insight from listening to you all, except Shiraj, LOL, has given me hard nostalgia feels and a desire to play the game again as soon as I can. Please do. What are your thoughts on the potential longevity of the game? or the possibility of Square continuing the game in future 5-ish years? Will the increased player count trend continue while 14 seems to be collapsing in on itself? Why doesn't SE just delete Thief?
I like that question. I think we should focus on that question.
And then in brackets, used the Boyata Blood Farms back in the day. I don't know why I missed this game. I can't help it. Thanks for taking the time to read this, Pog.
That's great. Thanks, Pog. And if you are listening to this, that's about the character limit that we're aiming. Just for that was a good sized email. That's
I'd say Vyers is pushing it on the second one, but the first one was like, that's a whole episode. If you want to
yeah. Well, that's a spinoff. That's got to be like the Dex Destiny download spinoff
played
episode.
A lot of Destiny too. He will famously tell you that he went down a dark path in his childhood and DDoSed people on Destiny.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
So what do you guys think about the longevity of the game?
I think this game is here to last. I think they've bolstered their servers. I think this game still generates within the top 5 of all the games that Square Enix releases in terms of profit. And most
where
of
that profit goes is a different question, but
game, but it's just a free breadwinner for them, so there's no reason to shut down the servers. Even after the most recent string of like updates, they had mentioned that they had planned on shutting the game down, and then it just kept living, exceeding their expectations.
They were like, we can't kill this thing. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I think that they like, I don't know. Did they say, I don't think that it was ever, we planned on shutting it down. It was that we planned on doing like, no more updates, like we were going to just stop doing any kind of update and just like letting it live its life. But
I don't know if I have proof of it, but I recall reading an article that said that they had, a plan for it to go down over a point in time. But also, there's also been the discussion that they brought up in that this is a numbered Final Fantasy title, and they want people to be able to play it at any given point in time.
Yeah. I think this is a very, very common question, and it's a very understandable one. Like, especially if the last time you played was 10 years ago, you're like, oh shit. In the realm of, we see MMORPGs reach end of life all the time. New World, for example, just recently lost all of its support. Stuff gets shut down and just isn't playable anymore. So I think that when you're talking about investing time into something and returning to a game, it's a valuable question to ask. Final Fantasy 11, I think, is in a super weird situation where I think there's a lot of factors, a lot of what Dex just said, that contributes to the fact that I don't think that it's going to be, I don't think there's any plan for it to go away anytime soon.
Right.
That's not to say that things can't change, but yeah, I think that like a lot of stuff that's happened even in the past year, the player server that they did and immediately responding to it with changes and implementation that's trying to like respond to player feedback. They just did like a bunch of server infrastructure upgrades to, at least like have 5-10 years or whatever on server life for future stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of indication that they don't plan on just like pulling the plug at any time soon.
Yeah.
In the 5 years, in 5 years, I still see them doing minor updates because of all the recent updates in that regard. Longer than that, maybe they'll go into a maintenance mode, the dreaded phrase, but who's to say?
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be an expansion anytime soon, but I think that we'll continue to get little things sprinkled along the way.
If you think there's an expansion coming, that's
cool.
I have a hot take here.
Oh boy.
I have a hot take here.
Hot.
I think they might add small-ish expansion-esque type things.
Like Shantoto Ascent?
Maybe not that style, but maybe, yeah, potentially. Like TVR without the primes at the end.
TVR was kind of long. You might not think it, but it was kind of long.
I feel like the Chantoto sessions ones were pretty long too, personally.
I mean, I feel like if they did some sort of like chapter based release, like even if it wasn't every update, you know, and like something like TVR where you get like a set of missions or whatever, just to like kind of give you something, you know, every 3 months, you know, I think that would go a long way for people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think there'll ever be like another class? Like they'll add another job to Final Fantasy 11? Do you think they'll ever add a new area to Final Fantasy 11 at this point?
I don't think unless they add like a full on expansion that you buy.
I don't think expansions per se are really on the table anymore, but maybe down the line when someone from the 14 team or another team rolls around into their circle, because like I can see them working on pieces of content very slowly, but I don't really see them writing dialogue and doing cutscenes. You know what I mean? That's the big problem with that.
The flip side is maybe they'll add more like Limbus-esque content, or like they'll add content at the rate that they're working on Limbus. Hopefully, you know, a little bit more rewarding than what we've seen so far, but I'm not holding my breath.
Oh man, flying spaceships makes, well, there's a couple good points in chat. Don says they need to fix jobs before they add a new one. That's true. We had a whole episode about potential job changes and all the stances they could add. And then Spaceship says, you know, what happens when they pass it off to AI? Will that help? You know, like, and maybe that's the solution. Honestly, like if the limitation is finding developers that are willing to work in the weird, you know, antiquated architecture that 11 still exists in, you know, just train an AI model to code in this, you know, and to create stuff. Maybe that is the solution to continued updates.
Can you imagine?
You don't have to pull your talented devs off current projects. It'd be probably great. Honestly, it wouldn't be worse than what they implement without supposed AI, where they have whole menus that just don't work. And like, you know what I mean? Like, wasn't that one of the Besieged updates where you opened up the vendor and it just had a bunch of blank options and, you know, like you couldn't progress it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And they haven't updated that vendor yet.
Well, boys, I think that's all the emails.
Nice.
Please send more at Blurred Podcast.
blurredxi@gmail.com. Or you can always jump into the Discord or jump into the Twitch chat, and we can answer your questions one mouthful at a time instead of letting it boil over into a 3-page long email. Love you, Fire. So do you guys want to get into the actual topic of the day?
Oh man, it's up to you guys. I mean, I'm going to be online a while longer, so if you guys have time,
I've got about an hour and a half.
Cool, we can start it, and if we don't finish it, we can finish. So the actual topic of the day was suggested in my Discord, and I liked the idea. And the question was, what Unity items are still worth getting? So we're gonna talk a little bit about Unity items. I have the PG Wiki page pulled up here, and we're just gonna be scrolling down, starting at the very top where it says Unity weapons melee, and kind of talking about which ones are useful. But as a general rule of thumb, Dex and Hegma, what do you guys think about like how useful Unity items are? Like how
as a
often
rule
are
of
you using
thumb,
them? Yeah.
I feel like most of the weapons are bad, and there's, you know, a few exceptions, but most of those exceptions are niches, and then a lot of the accessories are still good. But a lot of them, even though I say they're good, a lot of them have fallen off.
Okay. Would you say that they're still necessary for new players, and maybe even some of the first things that a new player should run?
I would say as a new player, Unity is a difficult thing to tackle because yes, a lot of the Unity stuff is a good transition piece, but a lot of it is contingent on its augment, which is expensive for a new player.
That's
and
true.
might not be very accessible.
Yeah. That's very true.
You're looking at like 11 million in hides or scales, and new players don't really have access to that kind of money. So is the weapon at base value good enough to like carry you over from one content to the other? Probably. But if
Mhm.
it's gonna stick with you, it might not be worth it until the augment's done.
Right.
I will also say though that like, if you're a new player, in the realm of the reality check that is like getting your Limbus accessory augmented to R30 taking 6 months or something. Like there is a huge benefit to just, as a new player, don't buy all your scales and hides, go farm A and B. Like do your daily run in A and B and invest your hides and scales into your piece that you're augmenting, and it's definitely worth it. You don't have to blow 11 million.
I know I dog on Thief, but like if you're starting up the game and you don't have any money, you can go and pop chests without having to actually do a segment farm run.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna kind of skim through these section at a time. So going through the BG Wiki page, as we scroll down the very first section where it says just melee weapons, a couple things that pop out to me. The first one I see is the Demersal Dagon, which is the joyous level 1 or eye level version, and I think that one's still relatively popular. Don't you guys?
You don't want to go down the top. You don't want to like go down the top to bottom and be like trash, 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 or do you want to just like?
I don't want to. Yeah,
Probably
no.
just pull out the standouts.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I don't want people to be bogged down in the negativity that is the Blurred podcast. You know what I mean?
I do think Demersal Deegan's pretty good. I never got one myself because I found the blurred knife to be better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good option for I want to say people use it for magic accuracy sometimes if they're dual wielding anyway and like doing end spells. I think it's more popular for like red mages and stuff. Don't quote me on that because I'm not entirely certain, but I know I've seen people talk about using it.
That's fair. It's just in my experience, usually if someone's doing an end spell focused strategy, they're gonna use low damage weapons to do no damage at all.
Right. Yeah.
I do think where that would come up is like maybe on Shinryu, or if you're fighting Ongo for 2 key item strategy.
Yeah.
But then again, I
Yeah.
don't know if you're gonna be able to dual wield for that.
Right.
And you would
You'd want to be
yeah.
using your Crocea.
Yep.
I think it is a good like offhand choice if you haven't gotten to a point where you're using like the Throne off time full time or like Daybreak or something like that to increase your
Yeah.
magic accuracy.
Yeah.
So like
There's
a
another
good starter weapon,
that
but not super great.
there's another weapon I think that fills that exact role a little bit better on this list, which is the Turnian dagger.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Turnian
Turnian's good.
Dagger.
Yeah, Turnian's great.
So
I
Turnian
think Turnian
Dagger.
dagger is like an amazing offhand in that it gives weapon skill damage, but it's also a huge amount of accuracy, has triple attack and subtle blow on it. I think
Mhm.
it's just all around a winner. I think it's a good suggestion for new players to get.
Okay. Would you suggest they make that over the TP bonus dagger, like as an alternative?
Um, I think it's good to have as an accuracy substitute because, especially as a new player, when you're fighting like a lot of the modern content, you're not going to be able to hit it. So there's no point to have a TP bonus offhand if you're not hitting anything.
Mhm.
Um, that being said, like even on my Bard, I do have a Savage Blade set that has the
Mhm.
dagger, the TP bonus dagger offhand, but I have an accuracy swap to throw the Turnian dagger on.
Oh, gotcha.
And that could probably be the crepuscular knife or anything else, but the Turnian dagger has like 70 accuracy on it, I think. So
Yeah, yeah, it's
I'd rather,
definitely a good piece, and it has a lot of good stats going for
I think it's good at its base, even though it doesn't have the weapon skill
it.
damage, that you could just get it and ride it, but upgrade it later.
Yeah.
Full
Uh,
triple attack, subtle blow, accuracy evasion. It's not bad.
Yeah, subtle blow isn't bad too as a offhand dagger as well. That's a often neglected aspect of dual wielding daggers.
Mm-hmm.
And the other aspect of the Demersal Deegan, you bring up the end spell, and that's unique, I suppose, in a modern gameplay sense. Like, I think getting that new Archduke sword is basically free, assuming the event's around, and that might be better than that. And then if you're getting it for the multi-hit aspect, you have to shell out a bunch of money for the accuracy to make it kind of like worth using. But a blurred
Right.
knife is much cheaper and much easier, no effort.
Yeah, I think a blurred knife is probably like baseline easier for people to access as a new player. But something that can be replaced with a blurred knife that's on this list is the Kostawi. And
True.
I think that's very relevant still, especially for, I want to say, ranged Corsairs. What do you say, Dex?
Kostawi is one of the few weapons on this list that is not replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
Even
I'm gonna be honest, this is the first time I've ever even looked at this weapon. I didn't even know it existed.
So as
That
a
makes sense.
ranger,
Mhm.
as a ranger, you only have two weapons available to you. You have Perrin, which is on this list,
Yeah.
and Kostawi, which is on this list. You need both.
Right.
For Corsair, it's a little different because you get Rostam. Rostam is really, really good. And a ranged Corsair would rather use a Rostam Path A for store TP, which is 50 accuracy, and it's basically the same thing as a Kostawi at that point. If you're dual wielding, then yes, you would offhand the Kostawi in an accuracy situation.
Right. Which I think
Ranger,
I think
it's almost
Corsair is probably almost always dual wield, except for like Odyssey or like Sword of
Yeah.
Chaos.
Yep.
So I think this is a fantastic weapon, and it's nice because Glazemane's probably one of the easier NMs on this list. 128, he can like be kind of nasty sometimes, but
it's just don't skill chain him, right?
Yeah, I believe that is correct. And then right under Kostawi, we have like the warrior staple that every warrior has to have, which Luxotic Mace.
Great for Dark Knight too.
We don't talk about it.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. It is great for Rune Fencer and Warrior, but we'll just pretend that Dark Knight.
We don't talk about Dark Knight, but it's good.
This is like the go-to blunt option for Warrior for sure.
Yeah, and reluctantly Dark Knight. Yeah.
If I were to put things in S tier, it would be Perrin, Kostawi, and Luxotic Mace.
Weapon. Now let's not go down the tier list because we don't want to.
So now that we're going down the tier list,
I'm just saying to say that they're very good.
Yeah, Luxotic Mace super good. Probably like one of the very first things I would try to get as a new warrior. And if you're looking into getting those segments, then as a Dark Knight as well. Luxotic Mace super
extremely powerful. You could use that like before you get your nagling, and even while you have your nagling, and do very similar numbers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And like Luxotic Mace is so crazy strong. Like, and Warrior is so crazy strong that a lot of times when there's like in an Odyssey boss situation, you're fighting, whatever your blunt weak NMs are. Instead of bringing a monk, like a Mighty Strikes Luxotic Mace, Luxotic's Mace Warrior is going to do so much more damage just in a crazy Zerg doing Judgment Spam or whatever.
Yeah. Super. It's like 100% mandatory for a warrior to have this thing just for not only segments, but like boss fights like in Guy and Gigalorum, Henwen, like all those blunt fights. And then I don't think it should be forgotten that it hits undead like outside of Odyssey super hard too.
Yeah.
I feel like people always forget that damage weaknesses exist outside of Odyssey too. So like one of my favorite uses for this is Vinipata and throwing it on because he's weak to blunts.
I used to do Vinipata with Luxotic Mace, and then I was streaming Vinipata, and somebody was like, why don't you just kill it?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, and so I just used my Lafria, and it still did cap damage.
Yeah,
so
if you're hitting for 99k,
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're not hitting for 99k, then
Yeah.
it's definitely nice. Okay. Another thing that we should talk about on this melee weapon list, the Montante +1. What do you guys think about that one? I think it's kind of in a weird spot, but I think it's still worth getting for a lot of people.
Montante is probably the best first weapon before Arima.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Montante is, it's not going to replace anything for the jobs that can use it. It's not like, oh, this is, it's not your Loxotic mace. It's not like, oh, just equip Montante and you're done. You don't have to go for anything else. But I think that, like, if you just made your Dark Knight, where the hell is it on this list? I'm trying to find it.
We don't talk about that.
Dark Knight. If you just made your, there it is. You need a great sword, and you just need an option, and you haven't made Caliburn yet or something like that. This is like within a few percentage points, I think, in terms of damage output.
Just spamming resolution, right?
Yeah.
So recently a Link Shell member was doing Limbus with me, and they're a Dark Knight, and all they have access to is Ragnarok. And they were doing very low numbers with Scourge and Resolution, and I was like, just throw on a Nagling, you'll do better. And they're like, oh, really? And then after a while, they threw the Nagling on. They're like, wow, it really is a lot better.
That's kind of sad.
I know it's unfortunate, and I
Yeah.
don't want to be like boo-hoo about the Ragnarok. It hasn't really kept up with the meta in terms of like buffs and weapon skill.
So,
And then they had said they had wished they made the Apocalypse instead.
oh yeah, Apocalypse is probably never going to go away. I think it's unique
The reason
enough.
I bring it up is because I question whether or not Montante would beat Ragnarok in terms of resolution damage.
I don't know. I think you normally use Montante for Torque Cleaver still.
Maybe.
I used to use it for resolution on Warrior. But that's because we didn't have access to Torque Cleaver. I feel like even if you don't have a Caliburn, you're still going to be using Cleaver with Grid. Unless you're using Helheim.
You're probably right.
But the thing that I have like issues with Montante is that the Agwu's greatsword exists. And I think, like, fresh out of the box, if you can get a Ongo V0 clear, it is right up there with an R15 monk. It might be like slightly behind it, but not by much. And then if you put in, like, if you get it to rank 5, it's probably straight up better.
It's 320 damage versus 319 damage.
Yeah. And that's R0 versus R15. So I don't think the Montante is very expensive to R15 because it's lusterless wings, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's still like a lot of work to put into that for like a very margin if you have access to a V0 Ongo clear.
11 store TP versus 5 double attack, around 70 something attack versus 30 and 15 strength. They're very close.
Yeah.
I'm really interested that you brought that up, like that you even knew that offhand.
Well, the Agwu's greatsword is the go-to greatsword for Warrior in a lot of sortie basement bosses. So yeah, so if you don't want to be skill chaining, let's say you're doing Gartel on Warrior and you don't have Lafria because you don't really have a good darkness based option, the Agwu's greatsword is what you want to use because you'll be doing resolutions.
As a warrior, I just feel like you have so many options. What makes you fall onto a greatsword?
Because it's good. Like Mighty Strike's resolution is still really good. You could use like Calamity if you wanted to use.
Why not use one?
What's that?
Why not use Shining One?
Shining One, because you fragmentation.
Oh,
which I mean, personally, I don't particularly care about, but some people do, and it does make the fight harder. It does heal like Gartel. If you do enough damage, doing fragmentation isn't like the end of the world. But we're under the assumption that this is a newer like group that doesn't have a lot of primes doing a shit ton of damage. So in that case, I would try to avoid shining.
That's something I'm not a warrior, and that's something that was not on my radar at all.
Yeah.
So when you brought up one of those weird Odyssey weapons that no one ever has, in my mind, I was like, how do you even know this?
Oh yeah, no, Agu's Claymore is really, really good, especially if you rank it up.
Agu's is great.
But I don't, that would be kind of hard for me to argue getting that over a Montante, especially for someone just like fresh back to the game. That's not
I mean, I would say that like if you, I don't know, I haven't done any of the Unity NMs like gone for a Montante recently, but I would imagine which Sarama, it might be as easy to get somebody to do a rank 0 Agus for you as it would be to get somebody to farm Sarama. You know what I mean? Like if somebody came to me and they're like, hey, I really need a greatsword, and I'm like, we could potentially do 30 minutes of Sarama waiting for an NQ Montante to drop and then have to trade and funnel all the hides over, or we could just in the next 30 seconds go kill Agu. You know, like I would probably get him the Agu circuit.
And that I would have normally suggested someone do that, and now that you've brought up how good this Agu's greatsword is, that's completely changed my perspective.
Yeah. Like I said, I think technically the Montante is slightly better R15 compared to an R0 Agus, but it's completely up to you if you want to put in that amount of.
Mainly because the store TP is alone better than the 5 double attack, and then it also has triple on it and more accuracy.
Right.
It has the same accuracy.
So the Agu's Claymore just has so much attack, which is super beneficial if you're running Sortie with a red mage. But
interesting.
Yeah. So going down this list, there's a lot of like really not great ones. Like for instance, the Nullus is kind of disappointing. It looks cool though. But the next one that really pops out to me is the Perrin +1, which I'm sure Dex has a lot to say about that, as
that is the best weapon you can get. Bar none. You need to have it as a ranger. I don't think any other job would use it. I don't know why there's so many jobs on it.
I would like to
my ranged warrior strat.
Oh hell yeah! I'd like to.
You don't have a ranged ambuscade bow, and then you do a ranged warrior strat.
Hell yeah! You know, we do have aggressive aim, so I think that's worth noting. It makes sense for the job theory of it.
Didn't aggressive aim remove the ranged accuracy bonus?
I don't know.
I think that the whole point of aggressive aim is that it has ranged accuracy. But anyway, anyway.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I can't say that I paid that much attention to aggressive aim ever, to be honest with you. But what does piss me off about this is that it's the same model, basically. It's the orc axe as the Spalarisos, and warrior can use this, but not Spalarisos.
What the heck? Well, I mean, there's a whole legacy of that. You know, like warriors should be able to use one-handed axes.
Right.
And it's the thing I'm most mad about in Final Fantasy 11 is that it's not on Spalarisos, because I would never take Spalarisos off on warrior.
Well, back in the day, like Rampage Warrior was a thing. And nowadays, one-handed axe warrior isn't really a thing outside of Ikenga's axe. And,
I mean, if you want to talk about models being shared, Juggernaut's the exact same model.
Yeah, well, that was awesome.
And if you didn't know that the Perrin is modeled after the Francesca, which is the iconic ranger weapon from back in the day, from the crab. What's its name? In Biota Tree.
Aquarius?
I was gonna say Cancer, but yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Aquarius.
There we go. It's one of those things. So yeah, Perrin +1, probably one of the very first things I would get as a.
Yes.
Yep.
It'll last you forever. It won't go anywhere. You will always be using it.
Right. Outside of that, I think I see
people used to do Pukelmatage for the sword enhancement. Oh yeah, it's still pretty useful. I mean, it's got sword enhancement spell plus 150, but I think it has to stay equipped.
No, I think it's for the skill.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what tier of master levels removes the need for that enhancing skill plus 11, but I know a lot of people will sub that in for certain thresholds to hit you know, another Aquaveil block or something.
Right. One sword that's on here that I did pick up when I came back to the game that I can't say that I've used in probably well over like 2 or 3 years, but it theoretically might still be worth it, is the Singarius +1.
Mhm.
My buddy made that for his warrior very early on as an
Mhm.
offhand,
Right.
just 'cause it's got so much multi-hit on it,
Yeah.
and then ended up not using it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it is.
sucks because it was like originally it would have paired really nicely with the Dolichanos. But since what is it? Can't even remember weapon skill anymore. The um Dolichanos weapon skill, the axe weapon skill has really fallen off.
Decimation.
Decimation, thank you. Um the gear has really outpaced the multi-hit of that weapon skill in
Mm,
particular. And it's definitely aged pretty poorly.
yeah.
It's a really cool
Uh,
weapon. I just as a new player coming back, like, I could recommend so many other things before that.
Right. Yeah. Um,
and cool conceptually too. I like that it has double attack, triple attack, and then an augment with quadruple attack. I think
mhm.
it's like maybe one of the only weapons that has all three of those stats. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I think it's technically a better offhand than the Crepuscular Knife for Warrior because it has better
Probably.
multi-attack on it.
The thing is, like, I was, poo-pooing on the Demersal Deegan
Mhm.
because you get a blurred knife, but I don't think warrior can use blurred knife.
No, no, it can't.
I would say, like, a warrior using Demersal Deacon would be better than that because of how much each only attacks twice it gives.
Yeah,
And then once your new warrior actually gets geared up, you're gonna have 100 double attack all the time. You can kinda throw it away.
right. Anything else on this list? I don't think there's any like melee weapons that really stand out to me outside of the ones I've already mentioned. You guys think of anything?
Um, Real quick, scrolling down. I can't speak much for Beastmaster, but I
Mhm.
know my buddy who's a Beastmaster aficionado carried every goddamn axe in the game, and I'm sure the Endomo
Right.
axe plus one is actually used for something, maybe just reward.
Mhm.
Um, it's worth mentioning just so I don't get Beastmaster hate. Um, the Tanmogai is actually quite good as a beginner sword offhand for Blue
Oh,
Mage,
right.
and I think the only sword Samurai has access to
Okay.
at level, strangely.
Hmm.
It falls off quite quickly, but it's very high accuracy, very high damage offhand.
It's good for hitting
So
stuff, which is great.
yeah,
It was really like your biggest concern as like a fresh 99 should be getting your accuracy up. So I
yes,
think that's a
exactly.
fantastic starting option.
Um, Scrolling through, I don't really see anything else that stands out as like that might even be a transition period item.
Yeah.
Any of the, I mean, this is gonna be just niche in nature, but either of the katanas worth getting, like
I don't think so.
Tancho, whatever, Raicho.
No.
Cool.
There's
Um,
the Sobro Sukihiro retrain at eye level. I think it's Norifusa.
yeah.
I just don't see a purpose for that because usually when you want to do like multi-step skill chains really quick,
Mhm.
you would just use the regular old school Sobro so you don't kill the
Yeah,
target.
go kill
Right.
it. Cool. I
Yeah.
think we can move on to the next section
Yeah, so we
in the
got
name of
the
yeah.
mage weapons next. And this
Wait,
is a
for
much smaller
Jugo,
section.
how do you feel about the Jugo Kukri as an offhand for like thief?
Hugo Kukri as an offhand for thief.
I
I
think
think
it's the
it
lowest or dagger in the game, right?
maybe. I feel like it's probably running into the same problem with the TP dagger and the blurred knife existing.
Yeah, there's just better options.
Yeah. I feel like I've heard people talk about that before.
I
But
think mainly because it's 42 evasion, right?
oh yeah. If you're like building an evasion build, that might be worth it.
Hmm.
Just
Right,
just get gain drinks. I don't know what to say. So the mage weapons are pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
There's actually like more good ones in this section than there are.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
almost all good except for like two.
What do you guys think about Contemplator +1 these days?
I think it's outdated nowadays. I
Right.
think it's a lot easier to hit those accuracy thresholds without it.
Mhm.
It used to be like the best in slot accuracy to land in feebles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really
Yeah, I mean,
common.
Contemplator with the enfeebling magic skill, the crazy amount of magic accuracy, people used to always say you needed it to, especially like you get into wave 3 Dynamis Divergence, like anything that requires high magic accuracy.
Yeah, I
In
don't
an
have
endgame
one.
setting,
And
most red mages I know lock their weapons on the
Right.
club and don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. With I think it kind of got left behind with Master Level is the
Yes.
Yeah.
the main thing. It was really cool. It's still really cool. It's a cool looking staff if you want to get it. Like it's not gonna hurt. But I wouldn't go out of my way.
Yeah. That's the thing I would say is that like Tumult Curator is kind of a huge pain in the ass to do. So
even if
like
it looks
by
like a weapon,
yeah.
not worth
By
the
the time you are able to reliably do Tumult Curator, you have other options.
Yes.
So
there's one interesting thing on here that people may not be aware of. Even somebody in my static wasn't aware of this until I brought it up. But the Mage Masher +1 is actually
very good.
it's actually a really solid melee club, especially for Geomancer. If you're doing
I would say the Mage
judgments.
Masher, if you're in a scenario where you don't want to wall a red mage doing Black Halo as a Geo, I think the Mage Masher is probably one of your best options to do judgments with, unless you have a Tetria.
Dang, that augment has 15% weapon skill damage on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's
And
actually
45
wild. It's actually crazy. The
The
stats on
damage
it.
goes up to 100, 220. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a very, very strong club that I think a lot of people overlook when they're thinking about Geomancer. Because when you think about Geomancer, you're thinking about Idris and not much else.
I think in terms of doing damage, it's right below Tistria, and that's strictly because of the TP bonus.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that beats the Tistria is like a maxed out Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my
which if we wanted to go back to the primes real quick, we are gonna have to restructure the prime tier list because we've learned that Caliburnus is actually S tier.
Is actually S tier.
We're
Yeah.
talking about Unity weapons right now.
Right.
This is there's two things, just a really quick note on that is one, the great thing is we can do another round of prime tier lists.
Yes.
And two,
the cool thing about doing a podcast is we could not.
Yeah. No, but we can. The great thing is that when I'm 10 out of 16 on my prime weapon series, and by the time I'm done, I'll be able to go back and do looking back and just redo all those videos every 2 years. Yeah.
In 7 years, Hegmo is going to do a re-looking back at all the prime weapons because he has every
for the fourth time.
Oh, right.
Definitely.
I love that. Yeah. Another really good weapon on the Unity list is the Marin staff. Yeah,
that thing's amazing.
It's stupid.
I would argue you could use a Marin staff +1 fully augmented forever, and even if you get the fully augmented from Odyssey
Impaka staff,
yeah, you could just use the Marin instead.
Yeah,
this is for like Black Mage nuking, or
it has a lot of int on it, a lot of magic attack, a lot of magic accuracy. Super strong for nuking and getting those like if on Black Mage one of your biggest goals is always to like get to the next int tier so that you have more intelligence than the monster and you're doing like better damage ratio, stuff like that. So staff is super good for that. I just have an Impaka staff
+10 it's a lot.
Yeah, it is really. I just use an Impaka staff because I'm lazy. I didn't start playing Black Mage until like V20/25 we're done already. So I was like, it's easier for me to just augment this in Pocket Staff than.
How does that compare to like Boonzi Amarapi?
Well, it doesn't compare because
okay.
You're now trading like Merker, which is your MP gain.
Okay.
For a little bit of damage. So like the stabs are super important for Black Mage specifically.
Got it.
The other jobs can get away with it. Like Scholar can get away with the Boonzi Amarapi.
Right.
It's a better combo.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of just nuking though, like no matter what, even if you decide to replace this with something else, it will always be best for wind nuke, period.
Yeah, that's true. And that could come into play on like Reskovnich, I think it is. The Snapweed from Odyssey.
Yep.
And then I think there's only one more weapon that I wanted to mention. I feel like the Subtoptic was very popular for a while, but I can't remember why.
So it was a very popular blue mage offhand.
Okay.
But nowadays between Bunzies and other and Secpata and other options, it's not really worth making.
Right. Okay.
For a period of time, it was slightly better than I think Kaja Club in terms of magic damage, so people liked it for production.
Interesting, but now generally, generally not worth making. What do you use instead of that, like Secpata or something?
So, like, if you're a brand new blue, you can get 2 Nibiru's clubs, and that'll carry you for a long time. Then I would say your next point of transition would be getting a Maxentius and a Kaja club.
Okay.
And after that, you'd get like Bunzies or Secpata and it just doesn't fit into any in between.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. Cool. On to
what's crazy though is that in the magic section we talked about like half the weapons. Like they're most of those are have some use. That's crazy.
Saying, like most of them are good.
Yeah.
There's
we talked about this right before we started recording the podcast. I was like, did you actually look at this list of things that we're about to tackle? Because I think you guys are thinking we can get through this way faster than we actually can.
No, that's
no, and that's the answer. No,
no,
I did not look at it.
Like, it's good or bad and move on.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about Hegmo is like I'll spend like all week making these outlines. I didn't make one for this one, that's why it's such a mess. But I'll spend like all week making these outlines, and then Hegmo will just be like, "So what are we talking about today?" When we show up. I love it.
No, I mean if it makes you feel any better, that's just how I approach most things. When I taught at a university teaching like adults things, I would just show up to like the lecture and I'd look at the syllabus and be like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that today.
Let's talk about that. Great.
The syllabus that I wrote, I'd be like, oh, okay, sure, we can do that.
At least you did the syllabus.
But you already did the work. You just have to retrain your brain to look at it again.
Okay, so
if probably the least useful section.
Yeah, if the mage section was all good, the range section is like all trash, basically.
I think the only thing on the list worth even bringing up is the Antitail.
Yeah. It's not a terrible option for the multi-attack and the evasion.
Like, in general, like
magic evasion.
Most of the time, melee jobs will be using an ammo piece for multi-hit, weapon skill damage, stats.
Right.
If you ever want to actually throw something to pull with, I think this is better to have on you because it's got a bunch of double attack, it's got resistances, and it's got magic evasion. So it's just all around decent. There's no negatives to be found here.
I think boomerangs are really cool. And when back in like the Rise of the Zillart era, I went out to Paulboro Mines and I spent like weeks leveling up my throwing skill because I was like, man, what if one day they had boomerang weapon skills? It's going to be so fucking cool. And I'm still waiting for that to happen.
It still could. You never know. Maybe all those resources that they can't add like specific weapon skills from other weapons for, they're saving that for the throwing weapon skills. Do you ever think about that?
I hope so. I
Ninja
certainly
should
hope
get
so.
throwing weapons.
Mm-hmm. I vaguely remember, and this is so long ago that I could be just like entirely speaking out of my ass right now. But I vaguely remember the Amati, the marks or the crossbow, being good for newer rangers if you wanted a ranged option to use True Flight or stand with. If you don't have access to some of
as you're working on your Reba, perhaps.
Like it's not an option I would ever recommend to do like in serious content. But I've anecdotally heard that it's not terrible for that.
I haven't really viewed a bunch of the weapons to say whether or not that's true. I just feel like there's so many ranged weapons.
Right.
Like if we're going down that route, I'm without having looked at it, without even like pulled up the wiki, I'm certain that the Odyssey ranged weapons have probably replaced that.
That's true. Probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I think when I had anecdotally heard this, it might have been not considered. So, like I said, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt about this.
I mean, I will say that Wyvern Hunter Bambrox is probably one of the coolest names for an NM.
Yeah,
I like that.
That NM is an asshole if you've never fought him.
I don't think I have.
He every I think 20% spawns a bomb, and each time he does it, it increases the amount of bombs he spawns. And if they're not
that's awesome.
Just white. And they hit it like a 30 or 40 yalm radius.
I will say that I'm sad that the like the warbow / ebo like blow up for the Unity sucks. It does make me sad. But that's also mostly because it's a bow. And
that's the real problem.
As a ranger from the 75 era, and I lived on my Uridos bow.
Yeah.
And it was still like just barely behind Yoichi in terms of output. It is sad to see that not being a good weapon.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely. So next up is the shields, and I'll just ask: are there any good shields on here? Because I don't see any.
No.
What?
People used to make forfen for red mage.
It's still used for red mage for the skill.
Yeah.
For the shield skill? For what?
Enhancing magic skill.
Oh, okay. That's great. I had no idea. Cool. So red mage is.
It looks cool too. One of the cooler, my favorite looking shields, like a spiked black, heater circle.
Oh.
Is there a world if you're like a super try hard paladin for like pre-buffs where you would use Ajax +1's augment?
Enhancing magic duration received. If so, like the red mage in my sortie group is on this like kick of the Archduke sword and how you can enhance the light duration up to like 4 minutes.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you could pair that with this if you're like really neurotic, and I'll just say he's generally someone that I don't like. So and I'll make sure to put a timestamp on this part so that he can listen to this.
Well, the paladins use that armor set, right, for duration gear?
Yeah, the Shabti Cuirass and the Regal Gauntlets, I believe.
Regal Gauntlets,
that I use for enhancing duration.
So doesn't this fit in the same exact like set, except you don't want to swap mid content?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, first of all, you're not going to be giving it to the party, which kind of sucks.
Oh, true.
So that's like the main reason that we switch into the gears, so that protect is longer and phalanx. Well, not phalanx, sorry.
That makes sense.
But mostly for protect.
You're right though. Most of the time you're enhancing the protect for the party.
Right. And this isn't gonna really do that.
So what is this used for then? Essentially is what we're begging the question. It's probably phalanx, but then you're not swapping this mid content.
I would use pre-win for phalanx because the phalanx plus.
Oh, true. For potency. Yeah, so this doesn't really do anything, even though it's a good effect. It just doesn't do anything.
Really weird like numbers on this though. Like what? Like 21% MDT. Like I wonder why they landed on 21.
They had to add exactly 1% from the base. 20%. It's trying so hard to be an Aegis without the Aegis of it all. But no, I don't see anything that I would use that for personally.
How about the grips? You guys got those grips?
The refined grip is actually really good.
It actually is, yes. Yeah. I think the rigorous grip is probably your best in slot until you get an Utu grip.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I never thought about that.
You haven't gotten that Utu drop in a million runs of Omen, and you're just waiting for
19 strength and 30 attack and 3 accuracy, or 40 attack and 3 accuracy.
That's one of those things where I'm not entirely sure if I would bother upgrading the rigorous grip. I would probably just use the base R0 version until you get an Utu grip instead of spending millions
hides on it,
of gil on hides. But I mean, I guess
I just think it depends on holistically what you're capable of doing as a new player and what link shell activities you're able to join. Like if your link shell is never doing Omen, then it's not even on your radar. But then you might be able to go and solo Omen for crystals and sell them, and then this could be like your way of getting more power.
Yeah, it's true. Good point. But the refined grip is pretty much the best purely tanking grip for Fencer, isn't it?
I could see that.
There's probably like 3 or 4 grips that Rune Fencer could use, but I think this is the one you land on more often. The only time you're really not on this is when you're using Utu grip for health.
Right. And to be honest, I think the only time I played Rune Fencer, which was tanking V25 Kalunga for some reason, I think I used Utu because I'm stupid, but it worked.
Nice.
So
I was going to ask about Khonsu, but I guess Khonsu has a negative enmity.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the main thing about Khonsu is like the magic accuracy and the DT.
Yeah,
and on Rune Fencer, you're probably going to be capped.
You don't need either of those.
Yeah,
it's more about the defense and the parry and everything else. Yeah,
right.
The only thing you really need magic accuracy on Rune Fencer for is the sleep weapon skill.
Oh, shockwave. Yeah,
shockwave. Hell yeah.
Cool. So scrolling down the list, there's a very small level. Oh shit, I'm done. Very small 3 item list of level 99 items, and that is a horn, a shield, and a necklace. And I don't think any of them are used for anything. They're all trash. Great.
No.
Moving on to the next one. 119 heads. Blistering Salad is a very popular headpiece. Still.
Yep. Blistering Salad. I've seen it used in crit based things. Pretty commonly. Yeah.
So like in general, I would say newer players get a lot more value out of crit weapon skills like CDC and Evisceration. And once you start to scale your gear up, those weapon skills stop getting benefit and just fall behind very fast.
Right. Yeah. I think there's still a couple weapon skills that it's good for. I think it might have been replaced for Evisceration finally more recently. I'd have to like look further into that, but I feel like it's probably been replaced. I'm sure there's some other weapon skills, but I mean, strength and dex plus 25 and critical hit rate plus 10%. It's not a bad piece at all.
No, it's not bad by any stretch. I just think it's not as good as it used to be.
Right.
Like it's got more crit, yes, than like Gleddy's, but overall stats, I think Gleddy's will probably pull ahead.
Right. What do you guys think of the Imperial Wing hairpin +1?
That's always been cute, but like, why?
Yeah.
In a world
also
where,
crit hit rate plus 10 has a ton of evasion on it.
Yeah, a ton of evasion.
Nothing else.
Yeah, and not really much of anything else. I feel like you probably can like get higher evasion and defensive stats with a mix of other stuff, but I'm that's just me hazarding a guess. There's not even any defense on this piece.
Yeah.
Is
Speaking of
low
like,
S
lack of magic defense and lack of defense and lack of stats, did you want to say something else on this, Hegmo?
No, I was going to move on to the next one.
I was about to transition to. So
Yeah.
speaking of a lack of stats, I'd be remiss not to critique heavily the low S Barbuda in Shiraj's absence, because he is adamant at how bad this item is. It's kind of a trap. It on face, it's very strong. It's got 19 to 23, 19 to 23 MD,
Right.
and 20 DT. It's enormous, but it has no magic defense, no Mava.
Yeah. Sorry, Kibble just said blistering salad is the Gazu bracelets of helms.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Low S was sometimes previously recommended as an enmity swap. Because it has, minimum 19 enmity when augmented. Is that I can't remember if it's still the best option there for an enmity swap, but
I feel for Paladin, there's better overall pieces.
So it is still the highest enmity. So I use this piece occasionally, and what I'll do is, to me, this is very strictly only for job ability enmity. And you're in it for
in and out right away.
In and out right away, and even then, you still have to be careful about when you're using it, because you will, like, if you're tanking Kalunga on Paladin and you use Sentinel and have this in your actually, I think there's a Sentinel augmenting headpiece, but use some sort of ability that you're using this for enmity, and you get hit with like the fetters while this is on, probably gonna die.
Yeah.
So you
I
need
feel
to
like
be
this
very
piece is like very deceptive to a newer player, where they see this and like a lot of MD and that's a lot of DT. This is sick.
Yeah.
But missing those Mava stats will get you killed as a Paladin. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to be really, really careful about how you use this. But I do keep it in my back pocket for if I'm like kiting sortie and trying to like stack up my enmity. This is a piece that I would do for job abilities.
I'd say the other aspect of it, the DT, like when I was newer at the game, 2019, 2020, people touted this as a DT piece because 20 DT was nowhere to be found on anything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But nowadays, like, it's so easy to cap your DT between Empyrean gear, Dome Mask, Adamantite armor. If like you have access to all these items, on top of that, you got the Murky ring, the Defending ring. I just don't think it's worth sacrificing all those other defensive stats just for the DT when DT is so easy to get these days.
Yeah.
Interesting. The last thing I'll say about it is interesting job mix on this: Paladin, Dark Knight, Samurai, and Dragoon.
Dragoon
so for your
stuff.
Dragoon tanking enmity set or your Samurai tanking enmity set could be one of your only options.
Yeah, absolutely. I tank on Dragoon all the time, don't you? In mostly in Gladies and other stuff that doesn't have.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Stinger Helm. Only thing I'd say about Stinger Helm is it has PDL on it, which might be like one of the earliest items I've seen that has PDL in terms of like a Unity level item. Level 99 Unity item with PDL.
I mean, I would wear it just because it is the Aces Helm model. You know what I mean? I think that's the biggest draw to a lot of this Unity stuff, especially as we start getting into the bodies, is that it's very nostalgic. And I just want to wear it because it makes me feel like I'm level 75. You guys remember getting an assault jerkin?
Both in potency and in appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But don't you guys remember everybody running around in assault jerkins and those being like the coolest things ever? I remember when I got mine and I thought it was amazing. I think it had like 18 attack on it, which was crazy.
Is that a transitioning to Agony Jerkin?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
So
not that I would ever use Agony Jerkin. Really? Oh, let me hear him because I wasn't expecting that.
Agony Jerkin is probably Bard's best first body.
Okay. Okay.
10 store TP is as much as you're getting from what do you call it? Share harness.
Okay,
It's
much
lacking in
easier to
everything
get.
else.
Mhm.
But it's got mainly its biggest issue is the lack of accuracy, right? It's only got the Unity rating, but 10 store TP, that'll be like your best first body for.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people will probably argue outside of that the ambuscade body is probably more useful just because it's like got accuracy.
Right.
Yeah, the ambuscade body is pretty nice.
From a purely like TP generating standpoint, I think this is like the best that you can wear until you get Terra or Bolt body.
Do you use Bolt body to TP on Bard?
I would use it if I didn't have Shara harness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I never even
that
thought
also
about it, to be honest.
for TP.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that a Volt body and an Ashera harness are probably equal levels of never going to happen for most people. Like they're both extremely rare.
That's why you take the third route
Bard.
and just go path a Nyame for our third
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh,
right?
hell
Like,
yeah.
If you're Bard only, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's the problem with Bard. On top of needing all the Rima on Earth, it needs very rare and unconventional melee people.
Yeah. Bard is kind of like Dragoon in that sense. Like it kind of has a janky TP set a little bit.
I think also like we've kind of forced Bard to be a damage dealer at this point. You know what I mean? Like people have figured out how to make it work with all this obscure gear that's also sometimes very rare.
Yeah.
But
that's the problem. It's like some people can do it, so now everyone has to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cohort Cloak, I remember when Cohort Cloak came out and it was all the rage.
Oh,
Cohort Cloak is dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still
the
though?
only reason Cohort Cloak isn't good now is because Nyame has magic attack bonus on it.
Yeah. It honestly, Nyame just single-handedly invalidated so much of the
until Nyame, like Cohort Cloak was still amazing.
Yeah.
I would still use True Flight. Like just so much mab, 100 mab. It's worth swapping body and the head out.
Yeah. No, it was really good. Would you get it today? Like if you were a newer player, would you try to go out of your way to get it?
No, personally, no.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't either. I'd probably like try to get Nyame like R15-ish and just call that good.
If you're nuking, I think any amount of any job that would be nuking, any amount of Empyrean armor would beat this.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was an argument back in the day that I'm gonna look it up real quick. The hands, I have them.
An argument that Amara cans, yeah.
Amalric, I think body and head at one point were better, but the head was always lacking on the Amalric. So usually people would just nuke in this and burst in the Amalric, if I'm remembering correct.
That sounds about right. I remember going out of my way to make Amalric for Scholar when before Agwoo's was
It's been so long
since stuff.
Amalric that I had to look it up.
Yeah, Amalric was really a long time.
But yeah, I think Cohort Cloak almost exclusively is like a magic weapon skill piece.
Yeah, like an Aeolian Edge staple for sure.
An Aeolian Edge, True Flight mainly.
Yep.
And then nowadays you'd just rather Nyame. Like if you have bar 10, it's probably better.
And it's funny because we were talking about the lowest Barbuda and how it has like no magic evasion and stuff on it. And now the next piece that we have is a body that's in like the exact same spot where it's a lot of enmity and like no good damage mitigation on it really.
It's in a similar spot, but it's actually still used.
Yeah, sure. But is it used very often?
Yes.
For
I think for Rune, right? Rune. Yeah. I think Emin Harness is still often recommended.
Yeah. Still swap this every time.
I'm still using this on Rune Fencer for enmity. For pretty much for the exact same reason I'm using it for lowest barbuda for Paladin, which is the job ability swaps. And you again have to be quick with it, or but Rune Fencer is like a mid cast gear is notoriously bad. I think our resident Rune Fencer isn't here today, but I think he would agree that Rune Fencer's mid cast sets are kind of janky.
For sure, but I think Rune Fencer's body slot in particular is lacking with Enmity gear.
Yeah,
and I won't speak for him, but I believe that even casting, he still wears this.
Really interesting. That's bold. I'd be afraid to do that sometime.
I think that Rune Fencer, I don't know Rune Fencer well enough, but like when I've played it, like you have so much magic evasion, so much DT in your kit already that you can kind of ignore anything that's missing here, and like just having access to Enmity.
Their base Mave is so high, and unlike Lowest Barbuda, this does have Mave on it, just a lower number.
Mave, but no meaningful DT outside of the physical damage.
Yeah, but I think you can make up for that otherwise.
Yeah, I think you can get away with it for spells like Flash and maybe even Foil, because they're very quick casting. If it were like spells cast, or yeah, I definitely probably would do that if they were longer cast times. But yeah, still definitely worth getting.
And it's still worth getting, yeah.
For the other jobs, I can't say I'd see like reason for it unless you.
No, I think it's exclusively a Rune Fencer.
Yeah, for sure. I like the Luger cloak. I'll just throw that out there because I like the Ixion cloak model. So like at the very minimum, I'll give it like
great lock style piece.
Yeah, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10 purely because of the lock style, the style of it. But I don't think there's any like practical use.
Back in the day, it used to be a nice idle piece, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. The regen and the refresh.
Regen and refresh.
Yeah. Got a little bit of MDT on it. Yeah.
I don't even think it ever used for the Surd because it takes up 2 slots.
Yeah. That's it's a very the bodies with the headpiece, like the cloaks and stuff like that. They're very selfish pieces, and unless they have like crazy stats like the cohort cloak did for a long time, it's really not worth using them most of the time. And I think that's mostly always been true. Even when like Ixion cloak was a thing, it was hard to fit that in when you were giving up 2 slots, even in the 75. But are there any other good body pieces, guys?
Obviation, Curious, Rosetta.
Is good for Summoner. I have to assume that.
Yeah, people used to use Shoman Jijo.
Yin Yang cloak, which was like best in slot for Summoner back in the day.
Right.
I don't know how it stacks up with other options now with +4 gear, +3 Empyrean, etc. But
yeah, I don't know what they have available, but Avatar TP bonus is strong.
Right.
Any summoners in the chat want to defend Shoman Jijo? Let us know. Tatanashi Haramaki. All the Tatanashi pieces used to be used in some sets, but I don't know if they still are.
So I have Tatanashi in a couple of sets. Well, okay, let me rephrase. I have Tatanashi in one particular set, and that is my Conqueror AM3 set. And it is simply because I don't know what else to put in that set. and it's mostly a joke anyway. So it's like I might as well throw, and I don't use the body. Like let me clarify that. I'm just saying like other pieces of Tatanashi. But if I were to use it for anything, it would be Conqueror AM because it's silly. Why not?
Cool. Yeah. Cool.
I don't have any good.
Man, we're on to fuck. Okay, we're at least halfway down, scrolling down this page.
We're actually gonna wrap it up there.
Okay, that'll be part 1.
Yeah, that'll be part 1. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna come back a little bit more organized now that we understand the monstrosity that Unity gear is now. And we will.
Oh, good. I see the strategy here. We're leaving Gazu bracelets, which is like the next thing to talk about. So let's save that for next time.
Right. Yeah.
And accessories. So
yeah. So
I do think Tatanashi body is used for Ranger if you're not using a Kraken club.
If you're not using a Kraken club.
Yeah.
So
I have seen it in some other calculator sets or whatever you call it.
Okay. So meleeing without a Kraken club? Oh, okay.
Like
Interesting. Great.
I think the Tatanashi gear is all kind of like niche, all of it.
Cool. Well, that's it for today. We got about halfway through the Unity stuff. Next time, if we can just chill on the emails a little bit so we can finish the whole topic, I would really appreciate that.
Every other episode, we're going to be like, hey guys, could you send us some more emails? We didn't get any. And then the next one, we're like, whoa, too many emails. Can you just stop, like chill for a little bit? And we'll just cycle through that.
Yeah.
We could also just stockpile and like do every 4 weeks, just do a whole email reading episode.
Oh, wow. No, I don't know if I want to.
You're like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, I've also, I don't know how I've done this, but I've also somehow positioned the spot as the guy that refuses to read the emails and gets away with it.
Yeah.
So, I don't have to read any of them. So that might be my bias there.
Yeah. We actually just use you for name recognition, Hegmo.
Yeah, that's true.
And most of the time, like, it's kind of like inviting that one guy on that doesn't really know what he's talking about. And we're like, yeah, it's okay, buddy. And we kind of like pat you on the back and you're doing really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we love the name recognition that comes with that. But I think as
long as I keep getting my checks, I'm okay.
As long I was thinking instead of actually like stockpiling the emails, I was gonna start just cherry picking the emails and only do one email per episode. And if we don't read your email because it's
I think you didn't
like it. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn.
That'd be rude. Send us your emails. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I mean, the next phase would be what we do, the Blurred Podcast Patreon, where all the emails get answered in text responses, and we choose one.
We go that route. We can go the route of every other podcast where we get to like the body part for the Unity weapons or the Unity items, and then we're like, okay, the next part will be in the paid half. And then
you can check the Unity accessories section out in the extended version on Patreon, and thanks.
Now you guys have my attention. But thanks everybody.
Free half, and the next we'll see you in the paid half, guys, where things get wild and wacky.
And then there's Blurred After Dark, and that's the unrated cut.
That's where things get really sloppy.
Oh, that's where we do Shiraj's Fabled Smasher Pass Final Fantasy 11 edition.
Yeah, exactly.
On that note, thanks everybody for coming out. Really appreciate it. Have a great week. Email us at blurredxi. Check out the Discord. Check out Hegmo's Discord. Check out Hegmo's new video about Varga Purnakawa. Yeah, that's the one. You can't make the weapon skill sound like the
Marukala with Varga Purnakawa.
Marukala. I mean, did you not listen to the history?
All right.
Did you not listen to the history segment of the episode? I went into the lore.
Bold of you to assume I listened to the episode.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Bye.